My name is Tapan, and on this channel, I will be trying to gather more agentic use cases, similarly to what I will be showing right now. So I think for any of the project that we ever started, we do try to manage it properly, and we try any of the project management tools. So something that I have been doing, I've been using is ClickUp tool, something that you might have already heard and try to use it. But the problem with the ClickUp tool is something that I am currently showing in my screen. If you guys can relate to this, one of the biggest hurdle on this is if you wanted to start something new, you start writing the titles, list of tasks that you wanted to complete. But later in the time that you have understood that you have already spent 20 to 30% of your time just while writing the task and everything. Just to simplify it, I am trying to create a agentic where not a model, it's just an app that would help you manage all of these tasks, its statuses, and if you wanted to create something new within ClickUp itself. So that will be our problem statement for this time around. And once it is done, I think it is very easier just to chat with our bot to see what all things are pending, what things are we have already completed, and it will be easy to map out whatever we have done it in ClickUp, so that it will save us time to get to the platform, writing down anything new and manage it. So as we know the problem statement now, we will just go with the code here. I think I will be showing you the demo of this first, and then we'll see the code afterwards. Okay, so I've already set up my I just need to run it. I will walk you through the code and even the tool code called ClickUp tools. I think I have fired up my Streamlit app. As you can see, it has been loading up. There is nothing fancy. I'm just having a title and a chart window where we can chart with our ClickUp tools, and then maybe while loading up, I could show you the code. We'll just go ahead and create a new terminal. It's taking time. That's okay. We'll just, okay, this is cd ClickUp tool agent, activate my environment. Okay, we need to run our Streamlit app. What's wrong? Cool. I think I've set my environment again, fired up the app. As you can see in my screen, this is just a simple ClickUp agent assistant that would help you to get any of the info that is there in your ClickUp spaces. Okay, so let us just verify first what we have in our ClickUp so that it's easy to validate once after done. So we'll just go ahead and see. Okay, I will be showcasing with this space right now with the agent lab, something that I've been trying to keep a list on new use cases to try out using different agentic frameworks and using the new tools, right? So we'll go back to our space. We'll go back to our assistant. Let us start asking as list me all tasks we have in agent lab. How about we'll just go ahead and ask what list me all to-do tasks. Okay, and right now you can see I'm using OpenAPI for now, so that I will get a better hand on the tool callings, and I'm using Phidata for this, for creating this agent. This is, let me just go ahead and show you the Streamlit code. Okay, I think if you have already used Streamlit, it's a very simple and straightforward code where we have title, we have some markdowns just to understand what things are there. And if you'll see, this is the main line of code where we are running our agent with a specific prompt. I have created a small file that you can just try out first before going ahead and try it in Streamlit. And I would say everyone should do it like this, where we can just try and see what response it is getting from agents. So if I'll just try this, we have the environments loaded up. We need to get your API keys, then we need to put it in your environment variable. You just need to create a .env file, put your OpenAPI key. And for ClickUp tools, I would say there are two things that you would need. One is for the ClickUp API key, and second part is your space ID, so that you can communicate with your spaces and tasks. So let me just show you what space ID I was talking about. So if we'll just go to ClickUp and see if you have the links like this, most likely your space ID would be this. So that is your 901, 652 and 109. So this space ID you would need. and then you need to connect that with your API key, ClickUp API key. So for ClickUp API key, I think there is a doc that I could attach below in this video, and you could get your API keys for that. Going forward, I think I could show you the ClickUp tools. If you are following with Phidata tools frameworks, I think you would need to inherit from the toolkit. I think if you want to go ahead and see how exactly this has been built, you can also try to follow with a GitHub tool that Phidata already had, and the similar functionality would be there for this ClickUp tool as well. At least for now, just to get started. So as you can see, I think I haven't created anything more depth things, as updating the statuses and things like that. It is just an first step towards creating up the ClickUp tools, where I have listing all the tasks, getting the task, creating a task, deleting it, listing out all the spaces that we have, and things like that. There are some inherent default functions first, where I just need to get the spaces. Just to understand how this tool works, I think anything that you need to work with ClickUp, I think you need to understand what is the space. So if you want to create a list, or if you want to list down all the tasks that we have, just like the example that we talked about, we have to know what are the spaces. So if you know the agent lab is a space that I have created, and anything that we need to maintain, or even to create, or even to list, we have to go ahead and use the space name itself. So how I have created is, so let's say this is the tool that we have created. I think list all to do tasks. It's gonna be creating a call to list task. I think this is the function that it would call. And if you'll see, there is only one input name, and moreover, for all of the different calls that I have, the mandatory name is space. So you might need to call the proper space name, so to call those. And just with some simple API calls, I think it is easier to fetch the data. So like for this example, we have the list task, where it is calling from space names. It would get all the space names, it would validate what all space names that we have called for, and it will list out all that list. So if you'll see in places, I think you have the space name, you have the list, and within the list you have all the tasks. So this is how the hierarchy ClickUp has been following. So that's why we have to also follow the similar structure for this: getting the spaces, getting the list, and getting the task. Once you're getting the task, and it need to identify if there is any specific ask that you have created, things like any to do task, or if you want to look at any in progress or completed task. So if I'll go back, this is the call that I have created, where I have asked to gather to do task from agent lab. It got me two different things. Just let me just verify if those things are correct or not. Choose your agentic strategies and know your LLM. It gave me these two tasks that are in my to do. Let me just verify that. Know your LLM and choose your agentic framework. See, these are the two to do tasks that we had, and it is even in the progress task. So let us just try to create something new. Let me just go ahead and say create a task called try what we need to call. Create a task called use browse use tool to automate block creation use case. So this is another use case that I have been working on, where we will be using the browser use tool, the open source browser user tool, to a automated blog, right? So this is one of the use cases that I'm trying out. So let me just create a task for it. Create a task called use browser tool or to automate block creations, and use the same description for it. Have to call out the space name, create agent lab called user browser tool to automate block creation, and use the same description for it. Okay, cool. Let us just fire up that, and we'll see what all data it gives. I think these are a few of the functions that I had: creating tasks, listing spaces, things like that. So if you wanted to get started with this, I think I will be sharing all the code down at the description box, and you can just go ahead and copy this ClickUp tool, use it as you need to maintain it. So the second part that I would be creating on this is connecting this ClickUp agent with GitHub agent, where the two different agents can communicate and see what all the latest PR requests that I have together, and it would create similar task for my specific spaces that I have, right? I think this would take some more time. We'll just wait for it to complete, and after that we can wrap this up. Okay, I think it got me this answer. The task user browse tool to automate block creation has been successfully created in agent space, and it also gives you the links to look at the agents, something that it is very helpful because again, if you really wanted to see if the agent has done some work or not, you can just verify those, right? So as it is saying this particular task has been created, just let's go ahead and see if it is created or not. So if you'll see, this is the older task we had. Let us just refresh this, and I think this would give you what we were looking for. Hey, we got this. See, use browser agent tool to automate block creations. So anything that we wanted to use ClickUp, you can just go to your chat window of ClickUp agent assistant, and we can just do a lot of different things. You can try to automate this with the various different things. So right now it is just a chat window. If you want, you can connect this to your WhatsApp, or even your Telegram, where it can manage your task properly right from these windows. So yeah, I think that's all from this end. So next time around we'll see another version of this where we'll try to create a multi-agent space where it can connect ClickUp and GitHub as well, and to see and to manage everything from get go. Thank you guys.